And all good.
No, I don't know if we're coming or not. I can send the text. We'll find out.
Next weekend is equally good because I'll be here every day next weekend.
So before I forget about it, you need some help next week? Sale?
I think it would actually be a huge help if you could hang out and do some sales for
What time are you
me.
going to start?
The event is from 11 to 5, right? So
When are you going to be here to set up?
yeah, I'll be here at like 9:30. We'll be ready by 11. Even if you only showed up at 11, I'll still be ready to go by then.
Set up. That's good. That's fine.
And after, kind of throughout the day today, while I'm trying to get some of these things made, I'm going to be going out and organizing some glass for sale, like getting it ready to go out on the tables and just have it ready to make it easy for next week.
These are good to have available at the bird seed, these pieces. These things out beautiful. Now, if you wanted to keep the flowers in their, more in their flower shape, you'd have had to work it a lot less, right?
What?
In other words, the flowers, when they went in, looked really good like flowers. But as they went in, they kind of moved with the glass.
Yeah.
Is there any way to keep them solid, like with the
Yeah, I asked Katie if she wanted me to do that, and she said it's not worth the money.
Just for my information, how do you do that?
I'll just show you. It. You'll know exactly what I mean when I show you. It's just cast. Hang on, I got it right here. KDB. Yeah. See that? That's what I was gonna do.
You would have had to build the cast. I got
Well, it wouldn't have been much more work, but it'd be a little more time, and I need an assistant. And I was telling her like how much I could charge for each one of those, and she said, well, "What can I get for this?" And I was like, "Well, you can get a much different version." So,
I got it.
you know, like I like those. I think they're really cool.
They are.
And there's definitely something I can do with that, but that's where I got the idea for making the ones I did make. Just not quite as elaborate of a process.
Steven, where does he work out?
I don't know. What? Oh, it's Swedish stuff. It's somebody showing somebody else's video, but yeah, like I was thinking about doing it like that, and that's how you do it. You know, you do it without getting all the distorted.
But you have to build the mold.
Well, that's a sand mold. That's 5 minutes of making that. But I was actually going to do it on the Marver, and like build a little angle iron mold to just ladle in there. That way, when it's half cool, I could go on, stick a punty onto it, bring it over here, and like fire polish it, like do it right on the outside. So, like I don't like that texture that the sand would give you,
Yeah.
but they don't mind for their thing, you know.
Very cool.
Seraphine, how are you, man? Thank you for being here. Hope you're having a good day.
What you make?
Cups like those and the polka dot cups. Yeah. I kind of forgot that I had this mold sitting out there for a couple years now. And it's great.
I'm hanging here till they can play fun like that.
Are you doing any work with the partnership? I mean, you got your shirt on. Does that mean you're? Yeah. I thought that was a Deloitte thing. Isn't that a Deloitte thing?
No, those are corporate cleanup. It's,
Oh,
this is board and other volunteers that are around Lebanon.
oh.
Actually happens every year. We ought to come down here and put a crew in here and help you clean up.
That's never on the agenda.
Well, it can be on here.
What?
It can be on here.
Oh, I mean, well, what do I got to do to? I just want some of that brush, that like some of this overgrown trees to get pushed back.
I was looking down and talking with Emily when I go back up.
You know,
We can get a
the
tree cut here in $100.
well, the tree cutters say they won't do it until the power company does it. The power company says, "Yeah, we'll be back next week," and then you call them next year and they say, "Get those tree guys out there." I mean, it's fallen over more in the last couple months. I know, yeah. They never came back and cleaned up the trees that they threw down the hill there when they had the big windstorm.
Kevin sure looks like he's having fun. He's not ever coming back now.
I guess, yeah, it seems like it.
It's either Alaska or Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I was talking about you with the gaffers at Ben's. Oh, yeah. Who's the gaffers there now? Do you know who that is? Because when I was there, Eli was I think the glass director. And now I think it's this girl, Grace. They have some of my work down there. And thank you for the shout out to them. I'd like to stay on their radar. They've got some amazing artists down there right now. Grace Halpin, I think. Not sure how to say her last name. You did? Oh, good. At least it's good to hear they're still showing it. I do need to give them some new stuff. Starts with a C. Well, there's Danny White does the sculptural cartoony characters, and then there's John Moran. Who else today? Josh Friedis is the guy that makes the sea turtles. Somebody that starts with a C. Who's there right now? Shoot. Is it a girl? So Josh is. Yeah, yeah, he does good stuff. Yeah, he was there when I was making work at the Benz. He does some fun stuff. It looks a lot like torch work, like stuff you'd see lamp workers make, but on a much bigger scale. Did you get to meet John Moran or just see his work? John's a big, big teddy bear. Yeah, he beats up those the outsides of those pieces with that wire brush, doesn't he? He acts like he doesn't care, like what he's doing to it, and it ends up looking so cool. Of course, I don't have a pipe cooler either. I used to have one, and I just decided to let it collect dust for too long and throw it away. Never used it. I mean, like never used it. I had a battery charger for it and everything. It could always have been in use, and it never ever was. Just wasn't for me. Hey, we got a raid coming from Chunky Mushroom. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody in. Appreciate having you here. How was your stream today? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Chunky Mushroom. I make mushroom table lamps. My daughter loves mushrooms. Made the first one for her. So she's going to be elated to know that somebody named Chunky Mushroom raided me. If you check out my Instagram page, I'm sure you'll be able to scroll down and see the video of me making the mushroom lamp, actually. How was your stream today? Most excellent. Good. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, I'm making a whole series of these polka dot drinking glasses. All different color spots, and the base color is all going to be the same. It's like, you can't really see it very well right now, but it's a very, very pale green, like jade green kind of a color. What am I looking for? Oh, this, that, that. Just that. All right. Thank you for the follow, Cherabaloni. Nope, Alonzi. Sorry. Cheryl Alone. My God, I'm sorry for my misreading. You see, my TV's a long ways away, so I'm winging it as we go. Thank you for the follow. I hope you like the stream. So I have this very high-tech device where if I take this and go in and push down, I can paddle it while I'm opening. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love making stemware. I did it for a long time, basically every day, in two different capacities. Once, like when I was learning how to make stemware, I was doing it in a factory, all day, every day, a couple of years at a time, specializing in everything that had feet on it. And then in here, after I left the factory, ever since I've owned this place, I've been doing more decorative stuff that requires me to figure out and learn the more historic techniques of like Venetian ware. So I got the fundamentals in the factory, and then the ornate stuff figured out through the process. Dude, that jack paddle works great. Yeah, it is. It's awesome. Yeah. It's literally just an old paddle that I just took my knife and like cut a couple slots through, shoved some blades through there. And if I need to, I can adjust it. Like, see, hold on. If I want to, I could have it like here. Or if I want to loosen up, I can go way deep in there and do it. It's nice. All right, anyways, this piece is done. We're gonna get it put in the oven and start making another one before I waste too much time. Isn't there a female glass artist known for mushrooms? Sorry, it's a question coming from YouTube. Thank you, Seraphine. The first person I would know of that does something like that I guess you'd call it more fungal looking, is a girl named Amber Cohen, Cowan. She's actually a college friend of mine who very happy to keep in touch with, but she ended up turning into basically a rock star artist in her own, with her own technique that she kind of put together. She is fantastic. Check her work out. I was lucky enough to get one of her pieces a while back as a trade. I gave her a bunch of cups. She gave me one of her amazing little crimson red wall pieces. All right, this color is called Sahara. It's a nice little like peach color. And we're going to do a couple more Saharas to get that color used up that's on the end of the punny, and then I'm going to switch to another. We're making as many of these today as we can, so hang in here with me. Feel free to keep asking questions. And don't forget to give me a follow. Check out my YouTube page also. I make edited videos of my streams to be able to make it a little more palatable for some people. Please go check those out. Yeah, I'm sneaking in. I got the, you know how it is, I got the permission racing kid to be out and about today. So, this is me out and about. It's fine. Totally fine. I thought you were saying she was going to be coming for the other thing and to stop down. I didn't realize she was only coming here just for this. I totally get it. Hey, Andrew. I was a little disappointed that they didn't get the grant for, I guess it's for renovating the lobby gallery upstairs in the offices. I guess not. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that part of that was to have me make a chandelier for the registration room or whatever that office area is. I was looking forward to that. But I think Emily did say they didn't get it. I don't know why. Thanks. This is one of my favorite shirts, actually, Andrew. It's always one of those, like, $20 shirts from 6 or 7 years ago that you're like, you know what, that is actually one of my favorites. I just haven't turned my sign around yet. Sorry. Come on in. How are you? I got you. No worries. Yeah, stop by. How you guys doing? Have you all ever seen glass blowing before?
This is the first time where I haven't seen it in 30 years.
Oh, okay, cool. Where were you when you saw it?
Milton, West Virginia, Lincoln Glass.
Yeah, I've been there many times, yeah.
We're from that area.
Cool. Yeah, I have family in Huntington, so that was always the next, or the stop right before we got to Huntington. You know, it was like 10 miles or so from there.
Well, my mother-in-law still lives in Lincoln.
Yeah, cool.
It's Love Farm. Where's your family live in Lincoln?
I'm sorry?
Where's your family live in Lincoln?
Well, senior living style, like, you know, like in one of the senior care centers around there.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got this little chunk of color. It looks like a marshmallow stuck on the end of my blowpipe here. This blowpipe is hollow and it's made of steel. That little marshmallow is made out of glass. That's a chunk of colored glass. When I'm in here, I'm heating it up. It makes a lot of sense. It's getting more and more liquid and more runny as I'm heating it up, right? When I come out, I have a little bit of time to work with it before it cools down. So I'm going to shape it up and I'm actually going to blow a bubble into it. The reason I can blow a bubble into it is because the pipe is hollow and there's a mouthpiece down there. So I'm just going to cool down the shape a little bit. Lean over here, blow. I'm just going to keep my thumb over the end. And you might see from back there, it's starting to swell up a little bit and get bigger. There it goes. 3, 2, stop. Nice. You see it getting rounder? That's the bubble. That's the only way you know what's going on in there is to watch the bubble filling out and rounding out. So now we have a bubble in our color, right? But this isn't very much color. If I were to blow this out any bigger, it would get really thin and it would just fall apart after it got about that big. So I need to get more material on here and add glass to it. So we'll come over here to the furnace, and in here I melt and store about 150 pounds of 2,000 degree glass. When I come out of there, it's really runny. See, it wants to be a puddle on the ground, so I always have to keep it turning real smooth all the time. I had a little more glass than I needed, so I just cut some off. No problem. We still got our little colored bubble inside there. And if I were to blow this out, you'd see it get bigger inside there and filling out the rest of that clear glass. But I don't really want to do that yet. I want to wait until I get more color on here before I blow it out any bigger. Okay, so if I just take this, you can see the bubble on the inside of the clear glass now. I'm going to let this get cool. When I say cool in glass, what I mean is about 1,000 degrees, not 2,000, just only 1,000. And it's just going to hang out there and cool down while I go do the rest of my stuff here. This is a little chunk of colored glass on the end of this iron. I'm going to heat it up, soften it, and shape it up so that I can make these little blobs of color. See these cups in the second shelf or second window? That's what we're making. So we've got the base color, that pale green, and now we're going to add on the little blobs of color. This is one of the peach. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's some of those have a more peach color. Well, it's going to start as you heat it up from room temperature. it'll go all the way up to about 1,050 degrees before it starts glowing. At about 1,050 to 1,150, it starts really glowing and starting to slump. At about 1,250, it's actively slumping. About 1,350, it's running. And anything hotter above that, it's running. You know, it's like that. That's kind of the temperature we have here, is where it's like moving around. Probably about 13 to 1,600 is where this is. So every now and then I'll heat up my bubble in my left hand. I'll just keep that hot enough so it doesn't get too cold, any more than 1,000. And then this little pencil point of color I have, I'm going to use to get extra hot. And we're going to blob it down on the outside of this and cut off four little bumps on there. Now we got those little guys on there. I'll put this back in here and we'll get back to that for another piece. And these are all going to get reheated and smoothed down, blended down with the rest of my bubble. And then we can blow it all out together, and the whole shape is going to blow out with this pattern that moves with the glass. You have any questions? No questions at all? Wow.
So your last training,
Yeah.
your last training in the weekend?
No, not necessarily. I'm doing more when I'm making work throughout the week and when I'm doing some private lessons and stuff like that. This is the first Saturday of the year, actually, that I've been here demonstrating and making work. And I've got a couple more busy weekends coming up, so I will be doing it then. But more often than not, it's throughout the day. People put me up on their screen while they're working. But I don't like to live stream the classes that I have, like beginning classes coming in. So now I've got all these little chunks of color blended down with the rest of my bubble. I'm heating up the whole thing together. And each time I heat up, I'm getting all the different temperatures of glass to be the same temperature by just staying in here longer. When I come out, I'll be able to blow the bubble out, and I'll know that there's not going to be a hot spot or a cold spot that causes the bubble to go goofy on me. So this is my mold. It's a wet wooden mold. I need to give it a dunk every now and then. Keep that wood saturated so it doesn't burn away too quickly. But it's made of a cherry wood. Basically, any kind of a fruit wood is going to be more dense, hold the moisture better, usually have a couple less knots in it, so it burns more evenly. So we go back in and we take another gather of clear glass, and I'm going to try to get a lot of that new glass off of there because I don't really need this much. That's a lot of glass for just a cup, so I'm going to let a lot of it just run right off of here. When I get back to the bench, I'm probably going to strip off a little more. This is just going to give me a thin layer on the outside of what I had before. Yeah, thanks, Seraphine. If I just keep talking, I can make them not ask. Oh, hey, by the way, new followers. Thank you, ET8, my dog. I love that name. Thanks for the follow. All right, so now I've got to build up a lot of even heat throughout this whole wall thickness. There's a lot of potential spots for cold or hot spots in the glass. So I stay in here for a while, soak up the heat. I'm going to walk over and stretch it down. It's going to elongate, and I'll close it in the mold and start blowing gently while I'm turning. And it just needs to fill out the mold for a few seconds. If I stay in there too long, it could get too cold and freeze up in there, so that's not what we want. So we hold it steady. Get over there. So there we go. I need to tighten down this little constriction that's right there from the top of the mold. So I'm just going to superheat it a little extra here, squeeze it in, and then it'll be easily broken off the blowpipe, which will be the next step. Okay, so now that the bottom half of the piece is finished, but I need to open up the lip of the cup. It's not really a finished piece yet. So I'm going to hang it up right here and let it cool down. Gonna stay there and be cool. While I come over here, I'm gonna take a tiny little gather of glass on the end of a solid iron here. This is gonna be called a punty. Punty is an Italian word for bridge or transfer as a verb. We're gonna be transferring it off of the blowpipe onto this iron. And all we need is this tiny little bit of glass on the tip of it, and that's gonna be like a little dot of glue that we use to stick to the bottom of my cup. It needs to break off there easily later, so I can't make too big of a forceful attachment. I just need to stick it on, keep this centered and not wobbling or anything, because remember, it still wants to drip down, so I always have to have it moving. But now that I stick this on here, you can see which attachment is hotter from all the way back there. You can see that this is much hotter than it is up there. So while it cools and fuses on there, I'm gonna center it, squeeze on this gently, zip it back and forth, and we're just gonna tap down. It's gonna break right off, right where we're ready for it. And now, see, I can heat just that part. If I don't have to heat the whole thing up and get it all moving around. I can heat just the lip. Now I have a broken edge, that little tiny hole at the top. That's going to be the lip of the cup, so I need to make it look more like a lip. We're going to open it up. We're going to trim it, make sure it's cleaned up and it doesn't have a wobbly, wavy edge. And then we'll open it to the full size that we want it, and then we can put it away. So just by staying here, you see how I'm mostly out of the heat. Just the top of it's getting in there and getting warm so that the whole thing's not going to be moving around. I can cut and trim just the lip. So we'll open it a little bit, get in here with some scissors real quick before it gets too cold, and start cutting. Comes right off of there. Now we have a thin, even edge that I can use to open up, and we can drink out of that side. You get it? You get it? Good. Now, again, I'm staying back here. If I get the whole thing hot, then it's all going to move around and it's going to turn into something really weird shaped. It'll open up and go real wide. All I want to do is heat the lip. Go in here and we're going to paddle it flat gently. See? Now it's starting to look a lot more like a cup. ETA, my dog, there you are, hi. See, I don't have to push hard. I can just be steady with my hand and keep it turning. And it just follows right into where I'm drawing the line in there. All right, so it's finished and it's ready to be put away. When I say put away, I need to cool it down very slowly overnight. If I just leave it sitting out here in the room temperature, it's going to fall apart as it cools. It'll cool down about 10 minutes. But the whole time it's cooling, you'll see it falling apart and cracking. So to take that stress out of the glass, you have to cool it very slowly, like overnight for 12 hours. So first we're going to get it off of here by taking a tiny little dot of water and just put it right on that attachment. Little tap, comes right off. Now there's a broken edge under there. So we're going to take a flame and fire polish that broken edge, smoothing it out, getting rid of the sharp edge, And now I have to carefully put it into an oven that's holding it right around 1,000 degrees. And when I do that, it's going to hold it at that temperature all day. And tonight, it's going to cool it down very slowly. So that tomorrow, when I come in, it'll be back to room temperature again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you are. Nice job. Thanks for the help. No problem. Did you learn anything? Super hot. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, grab one of those. You'll see all the info through one of my QR codes there, or just grab a card. Yep. Yeah. There's I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I got Facebook. I got website. Classes we teach year round. I do beginning level, 1 day full. Also beginning classes. So. No problem. Take care. Enjoy your day. Hey, Blue Martinis. There you are. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Are you from my raid, or did you find me separately? No, I got a fantastic raid earlier. Seraphim, yeah, you're right. Artistic is usually what people say, but that drives me crazy. It's like something gets all screwed up and you're like, oh, guess what? It's a piece of art now. Like, that's so diminishing. Anyways. How is everybody today? Feel free to say hi in the chat. I've got a lot of random people peeking in here and there. So we are live on YouTube, live on Twitch, and I'm going to be here for another few hours, maybe a couple hours, making these cups. Talking to Gen Pop. Oh, Andromeda. Check this out. One of the guys from the pottery studio came in and said, he brought me this thing. And it's this bottle from, I don't know, a long time ago. There's a slight imprint on it, or a slight texture in the name of it. Anyways, he said his mom pulled this out of the Caribbean when she was on her honeymoon, and she just died at like 93. They're cleaning out her house, and this was from their honeymoon trip that she pulled out of the Caribbean. So it was old then. That's pretty cool. And he just wanted to give me something nice, so he decided to pass this along, since obviously he didn't know what to do with it. But how cool is that? I figured you would appreciate. Oh. Excuse me. Okay, guys, I need to take up my mic and go blow my nose. Give me a second. Thanks, everybody. Oh, ooh, man. Every day this week, there's been a different kind of pollen that has emerged and shot out. And I react differently to every single kind. It's crazy. Yesterday, it was like hay fever. Today, it's just straight up sinus head pressure mixed with some hay fever. Tomorrow, I bet I'm itchy for some reason. I don't know why. Whatever that is. All right, let's get back to work. Seraphim, we got 20 people. That's great. Is that through YouTube, you mean? It's fantastic. Thank you to everybody for being here. This little chunk of color might be a little larger than the others. Probably gonna chew it down a little bit, get some off of there. Save it for another, potentially. Hey, we got a new follower goal. Fantastic. Just completed follower goal of 690. Killer. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget, you can use that free Prime sub to come back and watch me without commercials. Always helpful. Every bit of income I make from this live stream goes right back into it. Currently, I'm trying to save up for some new cameras to give me some better definition. Although the ones I have are pretty nice, I gotta admit. Yeah, you see this chunk of color is a little larger than the others. Just take a little bit out here. That looks about right. Save it. Save that little guy for later. Go cut him off in the oven. Get back to him another time. All right, so now that we're back with the right size color chunk, we're gonna get a bubble blown in here, case it, and start adding some color on. time. It's okay. Just come right back to it. Get that last one on there. Go. It's in the pipe warmer. Does it keep the glass workable? Oh, not workable. No, it keeps it warm enough to be attached to be workable. As in, just fusing temperature is going to be around 1,050, as opposed to the like 1,200. If I got it up to that, then it would actually slump in the oven and it would lose its shape. So I don't want it to lose its shape. I want to keep it just where it is, and then I'll shape it how I want, you know? So what we have here is a second quality piece. See the bubble? There was a slight bubble inside the color chunk that got blown out along with the rest of the piece. Very unfortunate because otherwise it's a good piece. So now we just know it's going to be a second, so we don't try so hard. We just get it in the oven and move on. That's a real shame because there are some colors out there that sometimes you buy them and they just have this obnoxious little string of bubbles running through them. And you really just don't know it until you stretch it out. You see, oh, yep, there was a bubble there. There's no way to get it out of there until you start doing a different method. But it's too late to do a different method now. There's no way for me to pick it. That's okay. There's a piece of glass, or there's a person for every piece of glass out there, right? Yeah, it's bubble glass now. That's a good point. I guess there probably is a nice way I could hide it. If I wanted to do like a crackle, I might be able to kind of take away from the reality that it's there. All right, so if I get one more of those peach color pieces in, there it is. Peach. Pink, peach. Hang on, I'll be right back. Ultramarine. Crimson. No, Ferrari. I do something else. Nope. All right, so that's what I got so far. So we got Crimson, Ultra. Yeah, right on. Got more Ferraris than anything. Couple pinks. Sometimes they come out short. It's okay. These are going to be up on my Etsy page soon enough. As soon as we get them out of the oven. Hey, by the way, Andrew, I looked up what you were talking about. You're exactly freaking right, man. Holy crap. Tiddlywinks. I found this image of the packaging from Tiddlywinks, that thing you were talking about, toy from back in the day. And I was like, okay, well, that's the answer. They're now called Winks. So, yeah, it took me a while to remember that, look it up, but holy crap, you were right on. I don't know that I'm going to start making them multicolored. I kind of like the two color versions of these, but man, Winks. That's what they are. If you have time, could I experiment? Yeah. What do you think? What do you want to see an experiment with? My next color. Well, I've got a couple colors laid out next. After this Sahara, we're moving on to Celadon, and then we're moving on to one called Iris Orange, which I'm really looking forward to, honestly. It's going to be a cool one. What do you want to see? Or was this a request? Ferrari, expensive name. Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot of different kinds of red out there when it comes to glass. Ferrari, Diablo, Crimson, Carmine. I've even seen one called Tornado Red once. I don't know where the relevance is there. Roma, strawberry, cherry, light cherry, dark cherry, ruby, light ruby, dark ruby. Holy crap, there's a lot of reds out there. Coral. Scarlet. But yeah, I had not a student, but just like a random father and son come down recently to the park. They showed up with 2 bags of glass in their hands, and they just sat around and waited for me to be able to talk to them. I came out and talked to them, and they were like, here, we have all this color. It's probably 20 years old. It's been sitting in our attic, but it should work. And it does. It's like completely compatible. It's great stuff. He bought it when he was in college and just let it like travel with him everywhere. And just brought it in for free. And it was like 3 kilos of Ferrari red. So I mentioned your second. I meant your second. No. Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, you're right. I could experiment with my second. But honestly, when it comes down to it, that was a first second. Like that wasn't a second. That was a first second. So I might still put it out for sale, and if somebody gives me business, I'll give them $20 off or $10 off, something like that. Lady of Here and There. Hi, thank you for being here. Hi. Welcome. I'm just cooling down right now. I need to get a little drink of water. Speaking of which. All right. Lady up here and there. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to throw me a follow. I'm getting a credit card before I commission you. Yeah, right on. Well, if I can make you something, Seraphim, on YouTube, please hit me up, send me an email, or just, DM, whatever they do nowadays. I don't know how it works. Send me your info/request and we'll get there. Hey, there's a new follow. Oh yeah, lady of here and there. Thank you for the follow. Notice when you do that, my chandelier goes crazy. And if you subscribe, you get a whole other treat. But anyways, thank you for being here. So I got my steel pipe here. I'm heating it up. ET8, my dog. There you are again. Yeah, man. What do you? It's not beer, I swear. I don't even drink beer. I don't know. I kind of hate to tell everybody what it is because I know it's such a polarizing subject. But maybe I'll just start it off. Who likes LaCroix? Because I tell you, this limoncello flavor LaCroix just touches my soul in a way that like nothing else can refresh. Stay in here in a 100-degree day, standing in front of a 2,000-degree furnace for 8 hours, and tell me that doesn't just change your life a little bit at the end. All right, so that's my oven, by the way. That's where I pick up my colors out of. It's 1,000 degrees in there. Actually, to be exact, it's running at exactly 1,050 degrees. The little Gava glass is not going to be the whole cup. This is just the inside base color of the cup. Good question. No, yeah, I could not make a whole cup out of this little bit. You need to build it up in layers. So we start with my first layer is a chunk of this color. It's called pastel green, but it's like an extremely pale jade green, which I really like. It's a great background, and it goes with a lot of other colors very nicely. So that's kind of what we're working on today, is figuring out what goes with this through a whole bunch of samples. And I'm making a bunch of cups that I'll be putting up on my Etsy page, and I'll have out for sale here at the studio over the next few weeks. So I'm shaping the little chunk of color, and by doing this, I'm putting like a skin on the outside of it. So when I blow real hard now, I'm going to trap my thumb over the end. Oops, hold on. There we are. Come on now. Let me heat it up again. We're going to do this right. Sorry, I have my camera all screwy. It's that little guy. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's a lot to manage, actually. Any of the special gold ruby glass bar? I do have gold ruby, yeah. That's a great color to put with this. That would be a very nice pink to go along with this, like, pale mint. Oops. There we are. All right, we're back. So, as I cool this, you see just down here, just cooling the tip of the gather, and then running the blade up the side is just putting a skin on the outside of it. I'm going to freeze it right there, right at the end of the blowpipe, and now when I blow, the bubble's going to blow into the gather. And you'll start seeing that little marshmallow start to fill out larger and larger. 3, 2, come on, buddy. Let's go. There it is. All right. See, all we needed to see was a little bit of expansion, and now we know there's a bubble in there, so it's fine. We don't even have to blow it out anymore. Gonna freeze it up in place, set up our bench for the next move, and it looks like we're good. Go over here and just hang this. No, right. So I got to get glass on this now. Sorry, skipping steps too soon. I'm going in here to take a gather. And when I get back, you'll see how I covered this. I went a little bit over the metal, giving me a little bit of glass called a moil, which will be what supports the vessel off the end of the pipe. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I tried to cover the mic. So I've got my gather here. You can see I didn't just gather to the end of the color. I went into my metal pipe a little bit. Now I have what's called the moil. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Can't get the mic away from me fast enough. All right, so you see we got our little gather covering the color bubble. If I blow just a little bit, it's going to inflate. See that? It doesn't take much, but now I know that I've got a very even wall thickness blowing out into my gather. So I'm ready to let this be and just set it up and let it cool for a bit. While I'm letting it cool, I'm going to go get those little blobs of color to stick on here, okay? Again, I apologize for my sinuses today. There's only so much you can do when you got glass in hand. I'm reading the chat, not making the right part of the piece. This is why I need moderators. Thank you to all my moderators, by the way. All right, now that I have the chunk of color that I need to stick on here, just going to soften it up a little bit, shape it, and do a kind of a pencil point, and then we'll use that to splotch on these little blobs. Right on. Oh yeah, I know, right? You got that right, Seraphine. You got that right, lady over there. Over here. Over here and there, jeez. So I also follow a streamer called That Nice Lady Over There. So forgive me, I thought that was you for a second. Who's also cool, by the way. You guys should check her out. Just Love. Oh, honestly, I didn't even know that was her name. Sorry. Yeah, check out That Nice Lady Over there. Yeah, I check in every now and then. She does some cool painting. And she always happens to be online when I'm getting ready to sign off. I think she's in England or something. And I think that's her evening hour streams when I'm just usually signing off. So I keep seeing her online. The Shreksies, yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I think she's kind of known for that, like maybe even outside of Twitch. I don't know. Hey, there we go. 4 blotches, base color. Gonna cool it down. This is a great day. I don't know if you can see. I've got my whole studio like cleaned up and ready for the public, and nobody is coming by. Next weekend is going to be the busy weekend here, and you all, good God, will see me streaming again then. And what you'll see is a full studio on the other side of people with their little kids and their strollers, their popcorn on the floor, and all the good stuff that happens. So I'll be demonstrating. There's a carousel day here, which means it's the opening of the carousel in the park for the year. So they used to call it Family Day, but it's still pretty much Family Day. It's the day for entertaining your 3-year-old as quickly as you can and then get them out of here before they get too much ice cream. Seraphine, you're asking what gaffer glass artist impresses me? Oh man, there's so many. There's so many people that are so good out there. It's crazy. I mean, there's like in my mind, you could say like the classics. I consider Dante Marioni to be one of the old school classics, which of course I think everybody does. But I got to take a class from him and really like just watch him work for like 7 hours a day for a week, and it was extremely helpful. He's not much of a teacher, and he's He's not known for that either. He's just a phenomenal glassblower. So it doesn't really help to ask him questions. Excuse me. All right. Sorry, I was kind of losing my voice there. I was getting really dry. Dante Marioni is a phenomenal glassblower, but he makes a real specific kind of work that only appeals to a certain kind of people. So you got to kind of appreciate what it is for what it is. That's like Chihuly also. I don't really give a shit about Chihuly, but it really speaks to some people, you know? When I was down in Florida, I realized how many amazing artists there were. I met that guy Fabiano from Venice. Made that chandelier up there with him. You know, like you see an Italian guy who's been blowing glass since he was 10 start to work, and you realize, like, oh man, I don't know anything. There's the resident artist of the Corning Museum of Glass. His name is Bill Gudenrath. He's like a true American master of Venetian techniques from the Renaissance. When you watch him work, you realize like exactly how good somebody can be. Also, it's a different level of skills that guy's got. And until you've been working in glass for a little while and you've been around it, it's kind of hard to appreciate until you see somebody do something in one move that took you 5 or 6 tries, not tries, but like different moves that you had to do. He somehow got it done in one, you know, or less. There's a lot to learn out there. Oh, sorry, I missed your message, Tori. Yes, thank you for asking. Yes, these are drinking glasses. Oh, Seraphim, I just thought of something. If you've been to Ben's, then you've seen Fabiano's chandeliers. Bill is amazing and very fast, yeah. And he does all the stuff. Like he went through the entire Venetian collection of the museum and remade every piece in the collection. And he doesn't work with anybody. He works totally solo. So he's doing like the most complicated Italian 300-year-old techniques that he figured out himself and does them by himself and then just moves on to the next one. It's crazy how good this guy is. Good news is there's no bubbles noticeable in the color of this one, so this is potentially a first quality piece. It's very nice. Getting ready to move on to the next color after this. It's going to be Celadon instead of this peach Sahara color. Lady over here and there. You're right, I did break it right off the blowpipe and right onto the punty. And then I'm going to have to break it again. Break it right off the punty. Thank you, Seraphine. Finishing this up, getting ready to move on. And I'm probably just going to make one or two of the Celadon. It's occurring to me now that I do need to have stuff out for sales, yes, but I don't just need to have cups. I need to make some other stuff for Mother's Day sales and all that. So. I think it's time to get some new covers for my tongs here, don't you think? But can I afford it is the question. These are like $11. That's a It's a big expense. Just got to get them. Oh, yeah. I've been making glass for 25 now. Yeah. I think it was a little while ago I realized I've been doing it more than half my life. And now that is really starting to feel like a long ways away, actually. So. Thanks for being here, lady over here and there. Nice to meet you. Come back, see us again. Oops, this goes down here. Seraphim, you're exactly right. Worn out tools do have more character, but I tell you, none of my tools are worn out. They're all in their prime. We don't talk badly about our tools. They're seasoned. Like a nice cast iron pan. Hi there, how are you? Hi there, how are you? Good. If I can answer any questions, shout them out while I'm working. That's awesome. This is a celadon on top of the pastel green. I think this will all be a really nice series to put together as a group shot. Just giving this time to set up and cool, because the next time I go in the furnace, this is immediately going to start heating up when I gather more glass on it. So I need to make sure that this is cool enough that it can not start taking the heat of the new glass too soon, which would mean it starts losing its shape before I'm ready for it to start soaking up the heat. So this is a very thin bubble that I have here, so I need it to be nice and chilly before I even get into the new glass. That's going to buy me the time to do stuff like strip off a lot of the new glass, just getting a thin layer. It's a nice way to keep the piece small. See, now I have time to do this. Strip off a lot of that new glass. Now, see, I've got more, but it's just a very much more thin layer on the outside that allows me to keep the wall thickness down, not be too heavy of a piece. Now I'm going to stay in the heat for a while and really soak up the heat all the way into the different layers of color and the layers of clear. When I come out, what I want to see is that everything is balanced out to be the same temperature. If I do that, then I can be sure that when I'm ready to blow it out, it's going to blow out evenly and not go crooked because of something like a thin spot or a cold spot in the glass that would cause the bubble to blow the other side of the wall thickness out unevenly. It's just all about balancing out your temperatures so that the whole thing acts the way that you want it to. See how I got it so hot that it even lost its shape, but it's okay because I can be sure it's all the same temperature, or at least more sure. So now by cooling this down on the outside, putting like a skin of glass on the outside, by cooling it, when I hang it down and blow, it's going to stretch out nicely. I can already see that the general wall thickness is blowing out evenly. And I'm just going to cool down towards the bottom of the bubble where those spots are so they don't continue to heat up too far. And now we're ready to go drop it into the blow mold. Take it over here. I'm going to heat up the whole thing evenly by building up an even heat throughout, staying in, going out and back in, out and back in. What that's going to do is make sure that the whole bubble has the same temperature running throughout. And thick glass is going to stay hot while the thin glass continues to heat and cool, still balancing out. Now we have a real even heat throughout. Watch how nicely this fills out the mold. We come over here, hold it in place and close it up. Whoop, hey, come on, that way. Okay, I've been inflating it at the same time. Now you see it, it's all done. I'm just going to go in here and constrict down. We'll go back to the heat real quick. So I'm going to build a little heat in here, and we're going to go back to the bench and constrict down that little line a little bit tighter. just because this is where it's going to break off. So I want to know that I'm going to have a clean break, not have to mess with it afterwards. And when I say mess with it, what I mean is fix it. So I tighten it down, get a nice constriction that I'm confident will break when I'm ready. True up the sides. Make sure everything's flat, and we're basically done there. So we just let that stay as is. I'm going to flash it, and we're going to get it on the punny. I didn't have a punny on the pipe warmer, so we'll heat it up in the oven real quick here, and then we'll just flash this in the meantime. It's my own fault. You're supposed to have all the tools you need ready before you get started. Did not. So I'm just keeping this happy and warm. You see how it's got a little bit of a glow up here? Just a dull red glow. That's what I want. What I don't want to have is any kind of an orange glow or movement that's actually drawing down to the floor here. So that's why I go back in the heat and I flash 2 or 3 seconds, come right back out, hang it out, and let it continue to cool down on center while I go get my punny ready. I'm just going to take the tiniest little gather of glass. I really don't need much. Hold it up and let the material run back around the side of the tip of the iron. Then we'll go over here and just smear it back even more. Create the shape of a dome off the end. That's going to be my tiny little connection point down there. So now that I flash, I'll be able to go in here and build up an even heat throughout the vessel again. Yeah, I could do it better than that. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, just for posterity. Now, while I heat up my punny, I'm going to keep this on center. Make sure it's not wobbling. Yeah, you're right. I know. I hear you, Seraphine. Same thing my dad would be saying. Does it always happen like that? Saved it. Floor models be damned. Beautiful. Oh, hey, we have an Etsy sale today. Fantastic. Cane pumpkin heading to Oregon. Beautiful. Woot woot indeed. It's an odd time of year to buy a pumpkin, isn't it? It's not usually when you see them selling. I got all the items on my page. I'm happy about it. The trick is going outside in storage and finding that exact pumpkin now, which is out there somewhere. All right. Quick raisin break, and we'll get back to it. All right. Oh, you saw that, Seraphim? Yeah, it was a couple days ago. She did so well. They don't really get to come in as often as they want to. But frankly, it's hard to get your two daughters out of the house for anything. Get them to come down here and spend a day is a whole other project. All right, I'm gonna come back in just a minute. We're gonna make another. Yeah, did you guys see? There was a kid in here earlier I was working with. Oh wait, I didn't have my stream running yet. This little boy came in and wanted to make a bubble, or he wanted to learn about it. So I taught him about it, and I told him, why don't you step back here and come blow a bubble with me? Took a little gather, and he set it over the edge of the table, and he was so careful. He was like trying not to do too much. I was like, go, man, go, blow, blow, blow. He finally took that deep breath, and it went like way out there, and you could just see it in his eyes. He was like, okay. He now realizes how cool it is. Oh yeah, I always wait to smack somebody over the head. Yeah, you don't get that treatment on day one. That's definitely a day two treatment. do another. I think altogether, we're probably just going to do 2 more. We're going to do 1 more with the Celadon to get good photography or get, group shots of it. And then we'll do 1 with this iris orange just to have it done. So I'll have a total of crimson, pink, ultramarine, Sahara, Celadon, and iris orange. And that'll be my first batch going out to be photographed. Not going out to be photographed. Why did I even say that? It'll be my first batch to be put on the tables, then photographed, and then listed. If anybody has any desire for any of these ahead of time, let me know directly. I do respond. Ooh. Oh, hey, new follower, Margot Cabot. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, we got our bubble in there. We're going to cool this down and get some clear on it. pale. See how the celadon just doesn't quite contrast very well. We'll see how it looks when it cools down, but it doesn't quite give me much. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is nice. It's kind of equally blue as compared to the green. So it might contrast. It might complement. I don't know. Just gonna have to see. Sure, this is on center. If I ever see a wobble in the foot, that's what I'm looking for, to pause and let it slump down on center before it cools. Yeah, I don't know that the Celadons are going to make it through the quality control. Probably doesn't have enough pop to look good. But we'll see. See how they photograph. Maybe people will like them. I don't know. What do you guys think? Almost looks indistinguishable, doesn't it? But I think it's going to have these nice little bluer sections in there that you'll notice. We'll see. Yeah, it is very soothing kind of a thing. You know what? I could probably use those colors really nicely to do it in more of a horizon kind of a layout. Just top and bottom. Oh no! Fuck. Alright. Alright, so I'm not going to get to the iris orange today. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't put enough of those green color chunks in there. And it would take too long for me to get them running. I got to go ahead and head out. And I'll be back on Monday morning. I got a long Monday with assistant in here. We're going to be making some more lamps. I'll show you actually which ones. Hang on, let's go over this way. See if we go over there and we look up. Right about yay. And then up to yay. And then bring it on in. We're going for that one with the trees on the far left. And you'll see the one over there to the right we did last week or 2 weeks ago. And we're going to be making the one on the left with the trees. 3 of them. I have a set of 3 to put over top of somebody's dining room or dining table, excuse me. So anyways, that's my Monday. Tuesday, I'll be in here working on private lesson with somebody in the morning from 10 to 12. Then I'll be teaching my beginning level class in the afternoon. Wednesday, I'll be making work all day. So come back and see me again. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. You guys still got me, right? Still hear me? Good God. My mic dead? No. Okay. Good. Says I just noticed Paul's not playing his lo-fi music. All right. Good. Good. Mic is good. All right. Yeah. No. I got my music playing in the background in my studio today. I was hoping it wasn't too loud for you guys. What was I gonna say? Appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you and goodbye on YouTube, and I'll see you again. I think I'll see everybody Monday morning because I'm going to be signing back in for another live then, okay? I've also been working on some new shorts. Follow me on YouTube or subscribe to me on YouTube to get updates on those. I hope to see you guys again soon. Come back and say hi